Okay, guys. So we have the retired Commissioner David Sullivan on the show, and I know he's been on WNZF a little bit. So, but he hasn't been on my show to talk about what retirement is like. So we're going to talk to him about that in a little bit. All right, you ready, Mark? You good? Hold on. Make sure you good. You been?
I'm good.
Okay, he's good. I'll make sure I can see your face. I'm ready, Mark. Go ahead.
You are now tuned in to Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio, where we discuss inspiring and informative news. And now here's your host, Pastor Jerlyn Denny.
Good morning. Good morning. Wake up. What a wonderful and beautiful day it is. And wow, Christmas is right around the corner. Thanksgiving is behind us. And what's ahead? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today because I have the retired Commissioner David Sullivan on my show. He just recently retired. He's been on the radio probably several times, and I was talking to him about it. And he said, yeah, let's wait a few weeks because I've been on the radio a little bit. And I said, well, yeah, I have a different listening audience. Plus, no one's going to ask you the crazy questions like I'm going to ask anyway.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
So
Pastor
this is
Jay.
the exclusive, the exclusive interview with Commissioner David Sullivan. How long did you serve on the commission here for Flagler County?
I did two 4-year terms, completed a full 8 years, week and a half ago.
Okay.
And Kim Carney took over my spot on the commission.
You ran against her, didn't you?
Yeah, 4 years ago. But
and you won by a slim margin.
I did, but I won.
You did.
I'm retiring the undefeated as an undefeated candidate.
Is that what you're doing?
Right.
Is that what you're calling it, huh?
Right.
Oh, you had some rocky time. You've been on the show. You're not a stranger to the show. And you're a dear friend. I adore you. And he's single, ladies, by the way. He is single, you know. He's going, I know, I'm going to have him blushing over here. He's single. And he's dating, I'm sure.
Yep.
You dating?
Yes, I kind of have a steady date right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You're going steady.
Right.
Okay. How's that going? How long you been going steady? See, I told you I'm going to ask the questions that no one else going to ask.
We kind of worked into it, but no, it's fine. It's
fine.
It's fine.
Good?
Everything's good. Everything's
fine. So in your 8 years as county commissioner, other than yourself, who was your favorite county commissioner?
Who was my favorite county commissioner? Greg Hansen.
Really? Okay, why?
Well, because Greg was steady and he was a fellow Navy captain, retired, had played golf with him some. And the other guys like Joe Mullins is still a good friend of mine, and Donnie O'Brien.
Friends, but we're talking about as a commissioner.
Yeah, I mean, Greg was there, has been there, and is still there, and does represent a calming influence and a hard worker on the commission, and he's still there.
Okay, he's still there. All right, I'll give you an easy question on this one. What work on the commission are you most proud of?
Well, I would say that my background and my family were builders, right? And so I think when you look at things that are going to last once you're gone, I would look at some of the improvements we've made. For instance, the Sheriff's Operations Center, pedestrian bridge.
Oh, that bridge is beautiful.
The new Nexus Center, Southern Library, Commerce Parkway. We're going to build a new shelter out in the agricultural area.
What do you mean? What kind of shelter?
Well, you know where the what do they call it? Out at the fairgrounds.
Oh yeah. Over there. Right.
And one of the things happen when we have a hurricane coming, we'll establish a shelter, and we have to take out one of the schools. And then the hurricane goes away.
Gotcha.
We've already gone. This way, we'll have a permanent place for meetings. The building out there now, the old Cattleman's Hall, is
needs
old.
some work.
And so it'll be a whole new, and money's already there. It's already been allocated. So we'll have a brand new building there that'll be multifunctional, including being used as a shelter, a first shelter. And it'll always be available that way. We won't have to interfere with the school system, as has happened in the past.
All right. So, who was the most difficult elected official? Not just, it could be mayor, it could be city council, doesn't matter. The most difficult one that you worked with in your 8 years? This is a tell-all, by the way. This is tell-all.
Well, I have to be careful. I mean,
You gotta be
we're saying that.
Forget these people. Go ahead and tell them.
No, I'm trying to think. Maybe it was me.
Really?
But we've had. It depends on the issue. Sometimes, certain issues.
I saw you and Sheriff Staley bump heads a few times. He's always coming for some more money. Y'all give him all kinds of money.
Public safety is number one when it comes to our responsibilities in government. So if you don't have a safe environment,
it didn't look like you were too happy to.
But and
on some of those things.
Our job on the county commission is to do the budget. That's one of our primary things. So you always have to look at everything and make sure that what's being asked for is valid and has the highest priority. In other words, having a good police force is the highest priority. But maybe the 45th deputy coming in new,
gotcha.
That priority for that 45th guy is up against a number of other high priority things. So that's what you have to look at, balancing the budget, making sure that we support our highest priorities. But then at the edges, you have to make recommendations. And so, sometimes you want to make sure what you're spending the money on is current, it needs to be done that year, and so on and so forth.
Speaking of money, you have what, 3 retirement pension paychecks or something? You rolling in dough? Come on, tell it all.
Well,
I've worked hard.
After I got out of college, I joined the Navy. I was in the Navy for 28 straight years, active duty all over the world, on aircraft carriers and such, and retired as a Navy captain, which is 06, same as a full colonel in the Army or the Air Force. And based on that, you get a retirement. Then I went to work for Hughes Electronics Corporation and stayed there long enough to get a retirement from them, and then you have Social Security. So, I think it's pretty standard stuff.
It's standard stuff. You get anything from the county after your 8 years?
No,
You don't get anything from
Well,
them?
here's what I did with the county. To save a little money, I did not take any medical costs from the county.
That was good because you didn't need it anyway. You had it.
Because I had it through the military.
Right.
And I did not do a 411. I was pretty old when I started, and so therefore they didn't have to match my funding. So I saved the county maybe $20,000 to $25,000 a year by not doing that.
That is pretty cool.
So,
You saved them some money.
I did.
And you don't get anything after your 8 years?
No.
Did they give you a cake, a plaque, anything?
I got some plaques and there some nice gifts from the staff. No, I'm very happy with my relationships there on the staff and with the other commissioners.
All right, well, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. I'm still digging for some juice on this exclusive interview. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay. You ready?
I did enough.
I gotta mention it, but okay,
right.
I won't.
That's okay.
What
Go
you
ahead.
got in there? We got any notes? Anything we haven't covered yet?
Well, I when I'm talking about me,
You want to remember?
there's like 4 phases in my life, so
Okay.
I want to go. If you mind, go through kind of the
Yes.
highlights.
We're gonna go through the 4 phases of it. I like that. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay, and I have the retired Commissioner David Sullivan on my show. He's in the hot seat, and he's been all over the radio because you have been a steady heartbeat for the county. I want to tell you that.
Well, thank you.
Very consistent, and people would come to me, and they'd have issues, they have questions, and you probably don't know this, but I always referred them to you. So if you ever got emails or phone calls and stuff, it might have been because of me. Might have been because of me, because I knew you would listen and you would have it's part of the job, but you would have a steady answer. All right. Yeah. So along your way, you say you had like 4 phases or stages of your life.
Yeah, I'll do it real quick.
Take your time.
First phase, 0 to 22 years old, Port Chester, New York, Boston College. Ed Sullivan was my uncle, so I got to go to shows and all that kind of thing.
You get money from that?
No.
I was just asking.
No money. Just he was a good guy. So that first phase. Second phase, my U.S. Navy career, 28 years active duty.
Wow.
From the time basically a year or so after college for the 28 years. And, time away, marriage, children.
That's right.
Uh,
And you have
and
grandchildren.
grandchildren, now a great-grandchild this
Oh,
year.
wow.
So
That's
I'm a
new.
great-grandfather. And so that's second phase. Third phase was use space and communications company, my private company when I got out. That was
I didn't know about that.
yeah, that was like
You had a
12,
private
14.
company?
Well, no, Use was a
Use.
big company. I
Oh,
worked for
you
them. I was
worked
a
for them.
director. I was a director for
Director
them.
there.
And did a
Okay.
lot of Capitol Hill work. And, you had that job. That gets the kids through college and they don't have any debt and all that kind of thing.
That's pretty neat.
So then I retired, came to Palm Coast in about 2000, bought a
Okay.
house. And I was still Navy League and national director and stuff like that. But then my wife was kind of in the political side up in Virginia, so we continued that. She kind of was getting a little more her health problems, so I kind of got into the political side of things.
Okay.
Kind
So
of
your
stuff
wife
over
kind
her.
of brought you in the political side.
Right, and I was president of the Republican Club and chairman of the Republican Executive
And most
Committee.
people don't know that you're the one that's responsible for flipping Flagler County to red.
Well, I'm one of the ones.
One of the ones.
But I did get
You
the
got the-
award.
you got
I
the
got
award.
But guess who handed me that award?
Who?
Name from the past. Pam Bondi
Really?
is going to be the something in
AG.
the AG.
I think it's the AG,
Attorney
right?
General.
Attorney General.
But anyway, in that year, we were the only county that flipped. It was before Trump came on the scene, basically. So the county had shifted from Democratic registration to Republican registration in the 2012 election, I guess it was then. And our county got the award, and I was the chairman of the party at the time. So I still have the plaque at my house.
I saw it. Okay.
So-
and now
so-
here we are.
And now, and so that's my fourth career, and that's ending. So I guess I'm going to have 5 phases of my life. I'm just happy I made it through the 8 years as
Right.
a commissioner, because age has a way of creeping up on you no matter what you do.
Now, during the COVID years, you got COVID multiple times.
Twice.
Twice. You are vaccinated. I mean, that's your personal business. I just put it out there. I'm unvaxxed, and we still love each other and we're friends. And then you turned around and you had a stroke.
I had a stroke 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
It's been 2 years?
2 years.
Seemed like it was just yesterday.
But I did continue. I think I only missed one meeting,
Okay.
but I was in the hospital. It was a fairly serious stroke, and
Oh, I know.
here I am
cried.
today.
I cried, Dave. I cried. In fact, I cried. And I told
Well, it
him, I
was
said,
nice. I had a
"Did
lot of
you-
people praying for me, which was
we
important.
were praying for you. Now, did you leave a note to tell? I keep telling him this. He's got to leave a note to tell his family that if something happens to you, I have to be notified, because you don't want no crazy black lady laid all over your casket.
That'll be fine.
He said that'll be fine.
If you want a funny story about dying, my wife, we were married for 52 years. She died about 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
And she's buried up at the National Cemetery up in the north of Jacksonville.
Okay.
And they put you in a thing. So on the side of the casket, or the
Tombstone?
Columbarium,
Okay.
where they do that. It's in marble. It has her name and the years she lived, but my name's already there.
Your name's already there?
It says Captain David Sullivan, 1941 dash, and the only thing that's missing is the
other
final
thing?
date. So
Oh,
that's
my
a little
goodness.
scary to go up and
Do you
see something
I'm
like
gonna
that.
say, when you go visit it, you see that this is where I'm going. Like,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Well, I think you're gonna outlive us all. Though.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
you're gonna give it a shot. So what are you gonna be doing for fun these days? I mean, you were on the canvassing board quite a bit.
For 3 of there were 4 times elections, the presidential election in 2 years, the state elections. Out of the 8 years I was a commissioner, I was on that board 3 times, including this year, which ended up being about 45 meetings
Oh my
between
goodness.
March and the end of November here, doing that. And it was an interesting experience. It's something our citizens should really know about, because of all the detail and the way we go about to make sure the elections are fair here in our county, which they are.
They are. What's your favorite place to eat in Flagler County? Do you have a favorite place to eat out?
Well, if I'm going out on a date, or
Okay, right.
I'd say next door,
Okay,
in Flagler Beach.
okay. All right. We know where he is when you go on a date and by yourself.
By myself,
Just something quick.
I probably go over to the Metro Cafe.
Metro Cafe, Metro
And
Diner.
yeah,
Really? I didn't know you hang out over there. Now I know where you hang out. Okay, so I was at your home one time, and you had these unbelievable pistachios.
yes, my daughter always sends those to me. I have a big sack of them right
Do
now.
you? You should.
Yeah.
I had known. I have you bring me some. I found them on Amazon. Do you know how I order those now? Those are my favorite pistachios. They're from California, but they're just
Yeah,
excellent.
my daughter's very sweet, and she sends me care packages some on the way because she knows
Oh,
I'm by myself, and for food. And what I'm doing at Christmas of this year, going on a
okay.
cruise again. I go with my daughter. She's single. She is in the IT world in Austin, Texas, and so she's coming here, and then we'll go on a 7-day cruise through Christmas. So I know the ships are going to be crowded and all that, but that's kind of what we do, and it's a nice way to spend time. You have a
Right.
lot of time, not to worry about food and all that kind of thing. It's all done for you. So the cruise is kind of a nice thing to do. Easy.
You have any hobbies? I mean, we worked so hard, and I mean, you took your job very seriously.
Well, I play
And
golf a lot, but I haven't been playing golf since the stroke.
okay,
And other hobbies, I watch a lot of football on
you
television.
watch a lot of football. All right, we're gonna take a break. Don't go anywhere, guys. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay.
I know that.
How much time do I have? So I'll know. Okay, about 6 minutes. Okay, all right. Okay, you ready?
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Want to give a thank you and a shout out to Massage by Natalie. Thank you so very much for sponsoring Today with Pastor Jay and Church on the Rock. Thank you for keeping me on the radio. So you said you like a lot of football. So we're going to tell a story about when you lost your car.
Oh, yeah, before we do that, I know we'll run out of time, but Pastor Geraldine does all sorts of good work here in the county and the city, and she continues to do that. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. And
Aw,
you and your husband Sinclair have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year,
you're
and
going to
all
make
that.
me cry.
But so back to that story because it
He
makes
gonna,
me look stupid.
wait, it does not make you look stupid. So I want to tell you while he's mentioning that. So Commissioner Sullivan has always participated and helped in the community, things that you guys don't see. And I called him one time. There was somebody that was homeless. He actually put a homeless person in a hotel until I could help them get on their feet. So I want to thank you for that. And they will never forget that. I can only thank you, but the Lord absolutely will bless you. So thank you for your contributions over the years and for your work and for your efforts and just for loving the community because you have
Right.
a way of loving the community. So let's talk about how you lost your vehicle at a football game. See, you didn't know I was going to bring that one up.
I'll tell the story. I don't know how interesting it is now, but I was over at in Tampa Bay for a Tampa Bay football game on it was going to be in the late afternoon game,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so they're playing. I went over there with some other people, and were there, and I didn't know my way around Tampa at all. I had never been to that football stadium before, but I drove my little Colorado Chevy truck over there by myself, and then I met the people there, and so we were all together, and everything's fine. They showed me how to get out to the stadium and all that, and so I had to park my truck. So I just kind of drove around and went in through some fence,
Mm-hmm.
gave the guy whatever it was the cost, and I left my truck there. Well, then the people I was there with left early. They just left and they
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, Dave, yeah, we'll see." And I don't leave football games early. I tend to
Oh
say
yeah,
to the end.
you got to
Well,
watch it.
this is the afternoon game, and it's in the fall, so it was getting dark. And by the time the game ended, it was pretty dark. And I went out to get my car, little truck, and I couldn't find it. It was in a parking lot. It was It was in a parking lot, but not one of the big,
Mm-hmm.
municipal parking lots. So I started walking around. I started walking, and there are two parallel streets that come into the stadium. It's a long story. If you're not familiar with it, you can get
Oh,
mixed
I
up.
always lose
So I
my
got
vehicle.
so I got mixed up, and I was walking all the way down on one street, up another, and finally, and it's getting darker and darker. It was getting to be like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, how long were you looking for your vehicle? How many hours by this time?
4 or 5, well, probably a couple hours at that point.
Okay.
So I finally, I asked the policeman, I said, and he pointed me, and finally I said, it was another hour or so, and I'm finally giving out. I said, I got to get an Uber because it's so late. I'm not even going to try to get back home at this point. And I'll continue to look for the car. So I got an Uber guy. I said, take me to the closest hotel. And of course it was a rat trap kind of hotel. I walked in, people looking at me, but so what I finally did was I got there and it was getting to be like 11 o'clock at night, and so I called 911 and the operator said, yeah, it happens once in a while over there. So she said, wait 15 minutes and call back and tell me that your car was stolen. So that got the
attention.
Got the police involved. So pretty soon a policeman comes knocking on my door at the hotel, and he says, "Okay, I understand. It's happened before." So I was looking, and we couldn't find it. So finally, they called in a helicopter to look for my car.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing.
And it was getting to be like 1 o'clock in the morning. And they finally found it, and so the policeman then took me over, and they had a helicopter over the top of the car with a searchlight beaming down on my car, my truck.
Your love of football.
And the reason it was kind of an out of the way parking lot that closed down. It was not lighted, and there were trees and stuff in there. And I just had the streets wrong. I went down the wrong street. But anyway,
your love of football.
So I finally got my car, went back, came back the next day, and so I missed a morning BOCC meeting. It was the first meeting I had ever missed, and everybody was laughing at me. So the sheriff said, yeah, because of that, he thinks those kind of things happen. So he thinks he needs his own helicopter, just like they have over, in Tampa.
So sheriff? Did you manage to put the money in the budget for Sheriff Staley to have his own helicopter?
Not yet. I guess I got away with not having to do that. But we have a brand new helicopter here, by the way, in Flagler County. It was just arrived here at the end of
really?
in the fall. Yeah.
So who owns that?
It's the Fireflight. So it's basically it's owned by the fire department. It has it, and of course they support everybody. And then we also have the mosquito control helicopter. So there are two. You know that
I didn't know there was two helicopters.
There are 2 helicopters. The mosquito control has a helicopter where they do all the spraying and watching, and they do some surveillance. But the Fireflight helicopter, brand new helicopter that we have now, is excellent. Great sensors. And it goes out and it can drop water, or it can do infrared technology, look for people. You've seen it in the papers where they go out and they help the sheriff department and all that. So anyway, we have 2 helicopters in the county right now.
Well, if there was something, can you think of anything in the 8 years that you've been county commissioner that you wish you hadn't done, or you could change or fix? Or if there's something left undone.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that back the first couple of years, there's a guy named Dennis McDonald who's been around town a long time, and we've had our back and forth with him. So at one point we were arguing about the Sheriff's Operations Center, and which eventually we did. There's a brand new, it's in the back of the studio here. But we were going back and forth about money and all that, and we were having a conversation, not on radio or anything, but just having a conversation. And Dennis was just egging me on, and it had to do with $1 million. I said, well, if it costs us, if the number to fix the old hospital reaches over $1 million, it's time to just forget it and go with a whole new building. But anyways, early in the process, so Dennis and I were getting heated. I was getting riled up about it. And so I said, Dennis, it doesn't matter what the game is. It could be tiddlywinks, it could be basket, anything you name. I'll beat you in it. I'll kill you if we ever play. And so Dennis turned that into a lawsuit against me. It was a figure of speech. And so he remembers that he used to put up political signs saying Dave Sullivan told me he was going to kill me. And so that's probably the one thing I would regret most. But it's a good story anyway.
That is a good story. You survived it. You didn't kill anybody.
No, I didn't kill anybody. It was a figure of speech.
You've been in service to this community. You still are. And I know we're going to see you doing a lot of great things continued in your semi-retired state. People are going to be calling on you for all your knowledge. Hey, I should call Trump and tell him, that you're available.
I'm not available, actually.
You're not available.
I'm not available, but there are a lot of good people, in our county, and and younger people like you, and lots of other people who are going to make it the future bright. And as long as everybody gives everybody a chance, go on the assumption it's a great place to live here, and then find fault. Don't find fault as the first thing you think about. Think about how good it is that we're lucky to be here, and God has provided a lot of grace for us to be here. Believe me.
Right.
And so start there, and then work your way back towards the ways we can improve things.
Well, I want to thank you for your service so very much. And thank you for being a good friend of mine and my husband's. And blessings upon you and this fifth stage of your life, as you call it. Okay?
Fifth stage. All right.
Fifth stage.
All right, Pastor. And Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas to you, too. All right, guys, you know what I say? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not promised. What are you going to do today? Today, you're going to have a wonderful day. You're going to share with your family and your loved ones just the goodness and the greatness of this time of year. Have a wonderful and great day. God bless you.